What is up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of FitBizU. I'm your host, Jill Coleman, and today I want to talk about something. We're going to review the Ascension model today, and then we're going to talk about the difference between what I call a front-end launch versus a back-end launch. And it's the beginning of the year. We're recording this in January of 2023. And hopefully, if you are taking this entrepreneurial thing seriously, you have sketched out at least the next 2 quarters in your business. Now, we've done whole episodes on how to sort of schedule your calendar year, things like that. So at JillFit, back in the beginning of quarter 4 of 2022, I put together our entire launch calendar for 2023. Now, last year and the year before, I think we probably executed it probably about 80 to 85% of what we had on there as it was, right? But of course, there's going to be things that come up. You know, maybe you end up doing maybe do a new offer, maybe you do a little flash sale, maybe you have some other promotions or affiliate launches that you're doing. And so you give yourself a little bit of space. But last year we launched 11 times at JillFit, and I felt like that was maybe a little bit too much. We definitely did well, but I felt like maybe from an energetic perspective, maybe a perspective of potentially fatiguing our list a little bit. And I wanted to get better at launching this coming year. And instead of doing 11, do maybe half of that, maybe do a 6 or 7 total, and do them just better and bigger. And I want to talk today because not every single launch is going to be what I call a front-end launch. Front-end launch is, you can kind of think about it like pushing, right? So it's kind of like you're pushing yourself. For example, we pretty much only do front-end launches for our signature offer, which is called FBA, or Fitness Business Accelerator. Now, FBA is my signature course. It's a 6-month business building course for beginners. Speaking of which, side note, we are going to be launching FBA within the next couple of months. And for those of you who are interested in getting started and really learning this stuff and really implementing it, not just talking about it, but actually doing it in 2023, this is for you. If you want to get on the interest list, you can do that by going to jillfitprograms.com/FBA-waitlist. It's jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist. Now, the reason why FBA is our signature offer is because it is a beginner to business program. And theoretically, if you think about it, there's way more people who are thinking about having a business, thinking about starting a business in the beginning stages of business. And for beginners, they need a lot of hand-holding. And that's not like a jab. That's literally just that's it. It's brand new skills, right? So as you progress to more of an intermediate business owner, as more of an advanced business owner, you probably need a little bit less hand-holding, a little bit less like checking with Jill and things like that. And so my more advanced containers, which is called Legacy. Legacy is the Intermediate Plus program I do with the Movement Maestro, as well as my mastermind, which is called SNS, or Strategy and Scale. Both of those are, the information that the clients get in those containers is just different than what you get in the beginner program. Because when you're new, everything is brand new. You're learning so much. Sometimes it can feel like you are, just drinking from a fire hose. And as your coach in FBA, it is literally my job to make sure that you don't get overwhelmed, that you don't disengage, that you don't get scared, that you don't run away from the process, that you stay the course and you actually continue to implement things. And so in FBA, we theoretically are just going to have way more people in a beginner program. It's just more people to choose from. And so we run that program twice a year, and we do massive launches for this. So when I say massive launches, these are multiple 6-figure launches every time. And we have some big goals for 2023 as well. And we do a lot of prep work for these. We do a long lead magnet. We do like an 8-day lead magnet. We do paid traffic. We bring in people from ads. We do a lot of nurturing between those launches. There's 6 months between the launches. We nurture our business list. We give them a lot of stuff to implement, to read, to listen to, right? We send them the podcast episodes. And, so when we go into our FBA launches, our goal each time we do that is to really enroll as many people as possible. So we don't really put a cap on it. There are 2 levels. One's more like close and up close and personal with me, and like a coaching level, like a weekly coaching call. And we do cap that. That's more of a significant investment, but we don't cap the standard version of that, which is the course itself. We don't cap that. And for us, this is really important because this is like our opportunity twice a year to connect with anyone in our audience who wants to build a business. And so we take these launches very seriously. We probably make over half of our revenue at JillFit just through these launches. And so your front end launch is most likely going to be for your signature offer. It's going to be the thing that if out of everything you sell, you want people in this program. So think about that. Everything you sell, everything you potentially have made or, people can purchase from you. What is the one thing that if they don't do anything else with you, they do this program? That's what I consider your signature offer. So when you look at all of the things that you could potentially sell, really just put a big circle around the thing that you want to be your signature offer. Now, if you are just getting started, maybe your signature offer is a one-on-one coaching offer, right? Maybe it's a high touch, higher ticket, one-on-one coaching container. That's totally fine. So that will be probably the thing that you push the most. And for us at JillFit, FBA, of course, is that. FBA is also towards the bottom of our Ascension model. So our Ascension model is, if you can picture sort of like a pyramid, the bottom of the pyramid, the very, very bottom of the pyramid, we've actually done whole separate episodes on this, you guys. If you want to just literally Google, I think, FitBizU and then Ascension model, you'll probably come up with the episode if you want to listen to the whole thing. But this is a way for you to organize your offers. Now, it's important for you to organize them, but it's actually also important, just as important, for your customers to know where they go next. So for example, the very bottom of the pyramid is probably going to be your lowest ticket offer. So you want to think about this from your offers typically are going to be from lowest at the bottom of the pyramid up to highest, which the highest offer is probably going to be your one-on-one coaching. Now, the lowest offers for us that we have are low ticket. We have some, we have Instagram stories course called Story You. We have like some paid webinars that are for sale. We have the coaching track, which is how to become a coach. We have some like lower ticket. These are what we call self-paced or DIY offers. The next level up is FBA. Now FBA again is our signature offer. So it's towards the bottom of the Ascension model because it's the lowest. It's the, I don't want to say it's one of the cheapest, but it's one of the least expensive options, especially because as beginners, I know beginners are scared of investing. They are the ones who need to invest the most, and they're also the least likely to invest only because they've just never done it. So they haven't had a positive experience necessarily with investing. Whereas as you get more intermediate advanced, when I talk to my peers, it's not, are you investing? It's with who are you investing? Where are you investing, right? It's not even a question. But for beginners, they have a lot of activation energy that they have to overcome in order to spend money on their business. They're maybe not used to that. They're used to going to a job and getting paid money. So the idea that you would invest and pay into your business in order to eventually make money feels a little bit hard at first. So there's sort of a paradigm shift that has to happen. So for all of those reasons, FBA sometimes is it is our hardest sell, meaning it's the one that we have to have the best messaging around. It's the one that we have to really work for people to understand what it is, to understand the value of it. And by the way, we do this with all of our programs, but the signature offer is the one that ideally you want to have the most butts in the seats. This is going to be where you have the most people coming in to your business. And so when we look at FBA, that's the one we want to have the most people in. And we usually enroll between 100 and 150 people in this program twice a year. And when we get them in there, they go through 6 months of coaching with me. There's lifetime access. And then some people stay in for another 6 months. Some people sort of maybe just stay in the Facebook group. Maybe some people continue to implement. And for a lot of people, it takes them about 2 to 3 years to work through the material, implement the material, do enough launches to then be ready to apply for legacy. Now, legacy is one step up on the Ascension model, right? It's right above FBA. And for legacy, it's intermediate business. And we do have some parameters. And the legacy launch is what we call a back-end launch. So a back-end launch is not like this big blowout launch like FBA. FBA is like tons of numbers, big old lead magnet, trying to get anyone in my ecosystem aware of this program. When it comes to legacy, the reason why it's a back-end launch is because I want people who have done FBA. primarily, it doesn't mean we only take people who come through FBA, but I would say at least half of the people who enroll in Legacy have done FBA. And that's by design. They just do better in Legacy if they have the foundation of FBA. They've done that and they've worked their business to a level where they're ready for Legacy. And so our Legacy launches are back end because a lot of them have already worked with myself or they've worked with Shantae before. And so this launch is a lot more chill. It's what we consider like, we usually do a wait list to an application. We don't really do a lead magnet. This past year, we did a live event, which is, I guess, another version of a paid lead magnet. We did a live event. But a lot of people who came to our live event either were current clients or previous clients of Legacy. So there actually wasn't as many qualified people at the live event as we would have liked, but we went ahead and did a launch after that. And it was like a 4 or 5 day open cart. And literally it was just like, do you want this thing? Because it was application based, and part of the application was you had to put a deposit down. So there's a lot more, there's a lot higher barrier to entry, right? This was a much more significant investment. It's for someone at a certain level of business. There's a $500 deposit to even apply. That's of course refunded if we don't accept you, but it's a whole application process. It's an interview process. It's an application process, an acceptance process. So this is what we call, again, a back-end launch. This should feel a lot more chill. Now, when you think about the contrast, the FBA launch with something like a Legacy launch, the difference in energy is so different. A front-end launch is probably going to take it out of you, which is why I don't want every single one of your launches to be a front end launch, right? I don't want it to be this like every single time what we call like spray and pray, right? We're just like everyone gets everything all the time, right? We don't want to do a ton of that because again, yeah, I guess you could fatigue your list, but more importantly, you're going to fatigue yourself, right? At the end of those FBA launches, they take a lot out of myself, out of the team. They're worth it. They're always worth it. But again, it's a different level of energy. The energy is what we call like pushing, right? It's pushing. It's going to find the right person, sending them to a sales page, sending them to a buy button, doing everything we can to make sure that they take this next step. And so we are really pushing. Now, when it's Legacy or when it's the mastermind, chances are it's going to feel like more pulling. It's going to feel like more pulling. Really, we're looking for the right person, right? We're almost curating a group of people versus blasting it out and hoping everyone comes. And so remember, at the end of the day, Legacy and something like that that's more like higher up, probably maybe higher price point, by the way, smaller container, less people. Legacy, we cap at like 20 to 30 people. The mastermind, I cap at like 12 people. So in these smaller containers, we're not looking for everyone. We're looking for the right person. So when these back-end launches, they should feel a little bit easier because the prompt here, the prompt for you or the prompt for the potential client is exclusivity. The prompt is not urgency and scarcity, right? Things going away, like, spots are limited, right? I mean, there is that, but more so, it's about the fit of the person. I want to make sure that someone who comes into Legacy is the right fit for Legacy. I want to make sure someone who comes into the mastermind is ready and right for the mastermind because I'm curating a smaller group of people who are going to have to work together for months on end. And also with myself. And we do turn a good amount of people away in both of those containers, not because we want to be a dick, but because like literally we're looking for the right fit. We're looking for the right person. And so it's not like a better or worse thing. It's just like, is this person right for this container? And if they're not, we usually tell them somewhere else to go. Hey, we'd love for you to go and do FBA. We'd love for you to go and do Shantae's, Instagram intensive. Like maybe they're just not ready for this thing yet. And so when you think about a back end launch, it's not that maybe you don't talk about it on social media or maybe you even send out a couple emails to your whole list. It's just that it's really predicated on exclusivity. So it should feel like pulling, right? Whenever we have people apply to Legacy, like they really want to be in there. It's not like they're feeling, it's not like we're tricking them or compelling them or anything like that. It's like they are excited to be picked to be in that program. And so your back-end launches typically are going to be to most people who have maybe already done a program with you. And at JillFit, we want people to ideally go through FBA, then graduate to Legacy, and then potentially graduate to the SNS Mastermind. That's like really the goal, is to get someone to that level and give people, especially in my ecosystem, right? The people in the JillFit audience, I want to give them aspirational next steps. So think to yourself, when you're thinking about your own offers, which of my programs is going to be like a big old front end launch, a big old live launch, right? A big old, like tons of people and a lead magnet. Like, what are those programs? And then which of my programs can be more like curation, personal invites, application, waitlist, personal, like, just personal invitations, things like that. I've done like physical mailers for my mastermind before because I'm like, I want to invite this person who I think is going to be a good fit. So it's almost like you're handpicking the group. And when it's a back-end launch, again, the majority of people will probably have already worked with you in some capacity. So think about this. Which of your programs deserve to have a front-end launch? Which of your programs need to have a back-end launch? And what's going to be the sales mechanism? Is it going to be a 3-part video series? Is it going to be a challenge? Is it going to be a webinar? And if it's going to be a back-end launch, probably it's going to be a little more chill. Is it going to be applications? Is it going to be personal reach outs? Is it going to be maybe a single webinar of some kind? Maybe it's a live event. It's something where it's probably not going to be as big because you just aren't looking for as many people. It's just not about volume. It's more about fit. So think to yourself, this is a way for you to sort of contain your own energy, right? To like manage your own emotional resources and mental resources as you go through the year. Don't think every single launch needs to be like this balls out front end launch. Some of your stuff, if you organize it correctly, and then you communicate that organization to your audience, my clients in FBA, they know about legacy, right? Our legacy students know about the mastermind. It's like they need to know that there's a next step for them if they are ready and if they're a fit. And when your people know where to go next, chances are you're going to keep them in your ecosystem for a lot longer, which of course is great for viability of your business. Are these people staying with you? How long have they been with you? How many things have they purchased from you? What's the lifetime value of that customer? And so that's really what we want to continue to increase, but people also need to know what's next. So think to yourself, which of these need to be front-end launches and which can I get away with being a back-end launch? Don't make the mistake of thinking that every single launch should feel the same for your audience. You want them to feel different. And I'm telling you, it is so much more chill when there's more of like a pulling energy. There's exclusivity. I don't want to say there's like a velvet rope because that sounds elitist, but really it should feel like more of a fit versus we're just doing this sort of spray and pray. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I wanted to give this a second because, at JillFit, we are still trying to like dial in how many launches, what kinds of launches, what are going to be the best for each product. We're probably like 90% of the way there, but at the end of every year, we do a debrief and we're like, cool, what worked this year? What needs to maybe change for next year? And we're constantly refining. And as we refine, we're going to share them with you as well. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. Thank you for being here, for your time and attention, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.